Hey everybody, I'm Len, and that's Gus back there. And we're going to be heading up to a trail called Oyster Dome. We've done a couple of videos on that, at least one I think. We're not really going up there today. We're going to go up and hike, but it's not about the trail today. It's about the Groundbird gear, Americana backpacks for Gus. We're going to be doing our first little review on this. Now, we've never used these. He's worn the harness a couple of times, and we have not used the pack, so we're going to try those babies out today, so stick around.
I woke up feeling lucky. I'm about to go all in. It's been a long time coming, but I'm back in the race again.
Okay, first impressions. It's not a bad harness. As you can see, wait, here. Oh, stop it. It's got 3 points here. Now, the thing that I liked about this was that it's kind of away from his little, his male part. The Ruffwear, now the Ruffwear, he doesn't like to model. The Ruffwear, it comes back way back here, and it kind of rubs between his belly and his little male parts. So, yeah, so we're looking forward to this working out. All right, so a little history on these bags. When I first ordered these bags, they came and the craftsmanship was terrible. It was really bad. And so I contacted Marie, I believe her name is, there at Groundbird Gear. Come on, Gus, hurry up, buddy. And explained to her. I received an email quite quickly, actually, from her. And she offered to refund my money. I shipped the bags back and she would refund my money. Well, I didn't want to do that because I really like the design. I think she's got an incredible profile for these things. So anyways, after discussion, she let me know that she would personally put the next set together. I reconfirmed Gus's measurements, and the second set of bags I got, the craftsmanship was impeccable. A few little flaws, but these things are handmade, so you have to, kind of take that into account as well. They're not being pumped out in China somewhere, or Japan, or Taiwan, or Hong Kong. So, wasn't real happy with the first set. The second set, yeah, this is what he's wearing now. So, I'm impressed. It's a really cool design, and for his body, it fits quite well. Come on, buddy, let's go. Where's your stick? Where's your stick? I'm really impressed with it so far. I'm a pocket kind of guy. That's one of the things I liked about the Ruffwear pack, was it had like 3 compartments on each side. So, I mean, if he, had a poop bag, I didn't have to put it in with all of his food. These are kind of on the lines of, say, like a Z pack or a ULA pack, where it's a single bag. There's really no pockets to it. It's roll up. I like that idea because it's adjustable in size. However, you're gonna have to compartmentalize stuff, like in separate bags, like for his medical and things like that. So, not crazy about that, but it's something I can deal with. So far, it seems to be fitting him okay. He's acting a little funny, so I'm going to have to see if he's got any rub spots, red spots or something like that, when we get back down and get this off of him. So, but all in all, it's a cool pack. It has stayed fairly even on both sides. Of course, I made sure that weight was even on both sides, like you should do with these packs, with any dog packs. So, we're going to get back down. We're heading back down here in a few minutes. And we'll finish this up, and I'll go over kind of step by step what I think about this pack. So far, so good. So I absolutely hate, I guess hate's kind of a harsh word. Hate's kind of a word that's overused and misused these days. But let's just say I emphatically despise, with ultimate contempt, doing videos inside, reviews and things like that. So that's why we're kind of doing this outside. However, I may have to do the nitty-gritty part of this review of these Groundbird Gear Americana dog packs. Now, Americana is actually, it's not a model. I think it's actually a color scheme. So, but yeah, because they're all pretty much the same pack. So anyways, I'll probably maybe finish that up inside. So if that's what you see when this video continues, that's why. Because there's really no place out here for me to do this. We're just having fun. Well, we're back, and we're back in the house. So weather didn't let me do much outside. It's been kind of crappy the last few days. Anyways, we're going to talk about the harness. I really dig this harness. It's made of 330 denier Cordura, something like that. The cool thing about this is that it slips over his head, like if this was Gus's head right here. It slips over his head, this rests on his back, and then you just bring the lower half of the harness up and it connects through these 4 quick release snaps on each side. Which the Ruffwear harness was kind of a pain. You had to put it on, then you had to kind of wiggle his leg through it, and it was just, and it had 2 snaps on one side. Don't get me wrong, it's a good harness, but it just wasn't fitting the bill that I wanted. So anyways, we tried this out. Now on the back, this is the top. On the back, it's got 2 handles. They go perpendicular, I think that's the word I want, to his spine. Whereas the Ruffwear gear, or Ruffwears, had this one here was turned so it ran parallel to his spine or over his spine, which I wasn't crazy about. You know, if you're going to pick your dog up and carry him like a briefcase, I guess that's okay. The thing that I like about this type of setup is that when you hook your leash to any harness through the D-ring up by their shoulder blades, that leash tends to take that harness and kind of pull it off to whatever side the leash is. And it's kind of a pain in the butt. And no matter how you adjust that harness, it's going to do that. Now, the cool thing about this is that if you run your leash through this loop and through that loop, those handles, and then connect it to the D-ring, the torque to the side, either side, whichever side your leash is on, is minimal. So I really like that feature. The bags connect through 2 quick release snaps up in the front, up by the shoulders. Then they also, they secure to a Velcro loop patch here. And then there's a loop patch here that it Velcros to also. And it has hook and loop. The packs actually have hook and loop on each side. This is on the rear part of the harness. So then when you lay this over, it secures it. So that's a pretty good system as far as I'm concerned. The harness it's padded. If you squeeze on that, it's got a nice soft feel to it. And so does the back. The back is real soft. It's an anti-chafing material. Of course, Blue Heelers, you know, they got that wiry hair and it just kind of weaves in and out. But that does that on anything I put on him or that he gets on or it's close to. We call it heeler glitter. Now the underside is pretty much the same material. Actually, yep, it's the same material. It's padded as well. This stays far enough away from his little private thing to where it doesn't rub like the Ruffwear did. So this harness, I dig it. It's a cool harness. There's not a whole lot to be said about it. Like I said, when I first got this, the first one I got, the craftsmanship was horrible, but the stitching on this is pretty good. You know, you got to remember, these are all handmade. I mean, literally custom fit. This harness, when you measure your dog, there's 6 different measurements that you have to take to supply them so that they can create these harnesses. And the harness is actually, it's built in such a fashion to where it's expandable should your dog gain weight or you want to run a heavy coat underneath or a rain jacket or whatever. So yeah, it's, you know, I can't say enough about it. I'm really happy with it. Like I said, the first ones we got Quality was not there, but Marie made good on everything. I have no complaints. I highly recommend them. So now the packs are your typical, you know, you want to compare it to a lightweight backpacker pack, you know, like Z packs, like I said earlier, or ULA or Hyperlight. For those of you who backpack, you know, probably know what I'm talking about. They're part of the ultralight world. I'm an Osprey guy. I love my Ospreys. Who knows? Maybe someday I'll get an ultralight pack. But they're a single bag. There's no pockets. They Velcro on the top, roll up, much like the roll up ultralight backpacks that these thru hikers are using now. They clip on both sides. Easy squeezy. There you have it. Not much to it. The bottom has an expansion strap or contraction so you can tighten down the load if it's loose. On the top, now this is what I really like. You got the shock cord up here. Now when I got my Ruffwear gear or my Ruffwear Palisades for Gus, it had loops on the side, but it didn't come with a shock cord. Marie has got, there's 4 points and the shock cord supplied. This is great. What I typically do, I don't put any of his stuff on the back there except for his leash, because what I'll do is I'll connect his leash and then I wad it up or roll it up and I slide it up underneath the shock cord. That way it's there if I need to grab it in a hurry. That being said, he's always on leash. Even though it's not in my hands, I know we're splitting hairs here, but technically he's on leash. So I don't see where it says must hold leash in hand. It just says dog has to be on leash, right? Yeah, I know. Don't give me flack on that. So you got the 2 connectors on the top here where the bags will connect to the harness. And then you've got the hook pad here and you got a hook pad underneath in the back. So this is where his shoulders are, and this is down towards his butt end. And then you got a loop section here that little flap that I showed you earlier lays over and connects onto this. Underneath, now one of the things that just frustrated the bejeebies out of me with Ruffwear was their tie downs for each individual bag on the side so they wouldn't do the bird wing flapping thing when the dogs were walking or running or jumping. They had a system to where you had the back strap that came down underneath, and you had there were 2 little tiny clips that you had to kind of reach around underneath that strap and connect. Now the problem with that is that not only that was it a pain in the butt, but if Gus decided he was going to roll over and do the back scratching thing, he'd pop those loose all the time. And also anytime we stopped for lunch or a break and I wanted to take them off, I was more likely not to take them off of him because I didn't want to have to deal with those stupid things. And eventually, I just didn't even bother using them anymore. I just a couple wraps of duct tape around his belly, he was fine. I'm just kidding. But these packs, she's got a single strap that goes underneath, connects up, it's adjustable, but it's also elastic. So, you know, it's not tight on his little belly. So, you know, they're simple. It's a great concept. It's a fantastic design. I really like the stuff. It's not seam sealed. It's not waterproof, but up here in the Pacific Northwest, or the Pacific Northwest as we call it, nothing is, you know. Yeah, it's, you know, it's great. You'll have to put stuff in bags, but we'll get to that in a second. All right, like I said, we'd get to that, putting stuff inside in a second, and that second is now. As I said earlier in the video, I'm a pocket kind of guy. I love pockets. I love organization. The more pockets you have, the more you can organize things. Of course, the more weight you have. One thing I liked about the Palisades was that it had 3 pockets on each side, 3 compartments on each side, I believe it was. and I could, you know, divvy out his stuff accordingly. You know, if he had poop bags that were actually had things in them, granted, I typically take those and I put them in a Ziploc bag and then put that inside of a freezer bag, because then it pretty much doesn't smell up his pack. But you're going to have to compartmentalize with this using other bags, or stuff sacks. I'm not going to do a lot of weight. Gus weighs about 50 pounds. This is the medium bags for about a 50-pound dog. Oh yeah, by the way, the harness weighs about 6.5 ounces. And let's see, the medium bag, which is what this is 8.5 ounces. So you're right around a pound for the whole system. Gus weighs 50 pounds. I'm not going to pack him more than maybe 5.5 pounds tops in his saddlebags anymore. He's starting to get a little older. He's 6 years old. Granted, he's not a fossil yet like me, but you know, he's not quite halfway through what his life expectancy would be. So he's middle-aged. Gosh, he's gone from a teenager to being a middle-aged. No wonder he's grumpy. I wonder if he's having a midlife crisis. Anyways, yeah, so, you know, that's the good thing about these, is that they're smaller, and so you're not going to have that tendency of overstuffing and overfilling your bag like you would with your own backpack. You know, they tell you don't get a big backpack because then you tend to fill it up with stuff you don't need. It's the same way with your dog's packs. Anyways, that's pretty much it. Pretty simple, straightforward. I like them. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give them an 8.5, maybe a 9. And that's not because of the quality or anything like that. That's my personal preference. I wish there was like an outer pocket to them. You know, what can I say? They're good. I recommend buying them if you can afford them. The thing that's appealing to me is the custom-made harness, because Gus's body is kind of in that right in the middle, not small and not medium. And it's a pain in the butt to try and get him the one-size-fits-all stuff. So anyways, that's pretty much it. If you like the video, go ahead and hit that thumbs up down there. Make sure you subscribe. If there's something I missed here, a comment, not a comment, but a section or something that I missed. Did I do that right? Does that make sense? Let me try that again. If there's something you want me to go ahead and talk about, or something I missed, leave a comment down below. Let me know what it is. I'm more than happy to accommodate you within reason. Anyways, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.
I woke up feeling lucky. I'm about to go all in. It's been a long time coming, but I'm back in the race again. It might not look pretty, but I got this in the bag. I take the keys to the city, and I'm never gonna give them back. I was made for this. I was made for this.